Scott, I pulled you in for this one because I want to talk to you and tell you all about a game I'm playing. It's called Floodland. This one is a unique city builder survival experience. We've seen the change as of recently too from city builders. You and I grew up playing city builders. I'm a huge SimCity fan, but we've seen this adaptation of adding in this survival element. And what's going on here? Well, in the Floodland, climate change has more or less destroyed our world, and now we're rebuilding, foraging, going out, gathering resources, and building from the ground up to reunite the community. That's the biggest point going on here with Floodland, and dude, I'm hooked. Like, I'm honestly really hooked. It starts off...
Sounds a little scary.
It's not that bad, man. It starts off, you are 4 different clans you can pick up to which one you want to kind of go in. Each clan has their own unique ability, and then your clan leader has some traits and some stats that kind of pull with them to help you kind of get started, right? It's pretty typical when it comes to this sort of thing. And then you go out and you start foraging and building up your resources. You gather research points, which then help you open up your skill tree. Do the skill tree, and this thing is massive. I think that's one of the highlights, is that how big and how many options there are. But of course, you never have enough, right, Scott? I think that's the biggest thing in these games, is that you're always lacking the next point you need to acquire to go build something else, go research for something else. It's kind of one of those things. So for me, getting into this thing, it was well thought out. Because often, Scott, you and I played, what was it not too long ago, the Guild 3 or something like that. It was a city builder.
Yeah.
Dude, we had a hard time. Couldn't get into that one, right?
That was rough around the edges.
They didn't explain how to do it. Well, in Floodland, all of your missions are up in the corner, and it kind of leads you into exploring and understanding the functionality of the game that allows you to learn and adapt to grow your community. And then you get into other circumstances where things will pop up, and all of a sudden you kind of go, which way do you want to go? This one little kind of mission popped up. It came up where this person got beat down. They got jumped by a bunch of kids. And then I had the option for me to kind of go, I could either lock them up, I can beat them up back in return of beating up this person. So they had a couple different dialogue choices, right? And from there, it kind of plays over on your community. 26% of my community didn't approve of my decision. So I said, I just left it to the parents to discipline their kids in this instance. So I had the other options though, to either lock them up, or I could have just, beat the crap out of them as well, kind of thing. You know, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things. It kind of goes back and forth. But then you earn research points to unlock certain things, and that's for me where it really kind of gravitates what I want to do in these style of games. I'm in there, I'm foraging away. I need to then grow and expand my supply sources, and from there I can upgrade. Well, in order to do that, I need planks. Well, in order to get that, I need this. I need the lodge hut, and then from there you need the lodge, the logging lodge, and so it just keeps scaling. And then you never have enough, as they said, because then you want to kind of go somewhere else. And then you always pulled away in different directions. You find a radio tower that expands your entire region of then sending out explorers to also go out and gather up new resources and other materials. And then you can go from like a low level, you're just living in a tent, to all of a sudden, not that you're into like SimCity-esque kind of like skyscrapers, but you can forage enough and get into that higher tech level. So there's a lot going on here, Scott. I think it's something that you would really kind of gravitate towards, because you are that city survivor kind of builder just like I am. I think it's something a lot of people should be definitely checking out and keeping on their radar. This is one to watch. This is really cool.
It sounds like it's a nice combination of two kinds of games that I really, really like. And one would be Total War, with the different decisions you have. As a leader, I like that there's an inclusion there, because that gives you, like you said, morality choice. And then there's the obvious kind of connection to Surviving the Aftermath, a game that we played, must have been a year or 2, 3 ago now. It's hard to keep track here, but that game was very similar. You're setting up these chains of industry, and that tells me that there's a good amount of depth to it as well. It's not just progress the tree. And I'm very curious about this one myself, because even just the art style caught my eye, the very first thing I saw, and that that told me that I know you're gonna get into this one.
No, absolutely. It has that pastel-like art style to it, and it is something that kind of pulled me in. Scott, for me overall, dude, this is really cool. It's something everybody should be checking out. I'm there with an 8.5. It is that kind of sim city builder with that survival element that really pulls us in. One I think you should definitely check out, as well as many others.
We sought a sanctuary, a home, and we found it here in the Floodland.